it's 5 here. I think that's right. Yeah, that's 5 from 0. That's 10. So I've got 5 thou height. Look at that. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I'll redo it. Okay, we'll just lock that up. Okay, that's on 10. So it's probably still the same. That's on 5. So there's a 5 thou discrepancy in the height, and I think it's not correct. Obviously, it should be maybe a thou below, a thou difference in between the top and the bottom on the center line of the spindle. But 5 thou on the vertical plane is not going to, if you look at it like this, where are we? Let's see. Yeah. If you look at it like this, you've got a difference in the height of the part, say from here to here. Luckily I've got this unit here, so I can adjust my tailstock in and out to compensate for that. I know it's not right, it shouldn't be like that, but that's how it would work with me. I don't think that 5 thou difference is going to make any difference to the diameter, not very much anyway, on a diameter that length. The biggest problem is the center line being out with the spindle that way or that way. That's going to give you the taper, but I think that when it's on the top, the difference, it's not going to make much because your cutter is on the center line. Okay, so it's going to be a 5 thou difference. I don't think that will make much difference to your diameter overall from this end to this end. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me, but it's one of those things, I guess, if you know about it in the beginning, that it's not quite right at this end, you can compensate for it. I can compensate for it just by undoing these and moving this dial indicator, not dial indicator, this thimble, micrometer thimble. Just by moving that a few thou, I can change the direction or the position of the center line this way, which will compensate for any taper that takes place on the bar. So again, like I say, it's one of those things. It's a one-off. It's been developed just from the brain, and I'm afraid I don't have the equipment to have the accuracy that is required. So that's all I can say there. Now what I'll do, so I've got 5 thou according to the dial indicator, maybe 4.5. So that's only actually 2.5 off center. really. It's not even 5 thou. It's 2.5 thou. This centre is 2.5 thou lower than the spindle centre. So if you look at it that way, okay, now I've got that reading there with this locked up and this locked up. I'll better make sure it's okay. That's, I may have to move. That's 9, and this is 7. So I have to just undo this and this and move that. Say I'll move it 2 thou or 1 thou. I'll move it at 1 thou. Okay, that's reading 7. And 8. 7 and 8. So I'll undo it a little bit more and take a 1/2 thou on the thimble, lock it up. So that is 7.5. Yeah, 7.5, and this is 8, just under 8 if you count in tenths, maybe a tenth or 2/10. So I would say that that's pretty good. Let's lock that up, and that, lock that, and that, and that. So that's 8. Oh, that's reading 8. So I can pretty well say that the front of that quill at this point is on centre with the spindle centre and the bed. So if I undo that now and without touching that, I'll undo it. Now this again, once I move this, it could be that this dovetail slot and the wedge key, maybe the dovetail slot is maybe what shall we say, not exactly in line with the centre line of the rod. When I move it back, it may move this up and down, but I know that this bar is pretty good, so I'll undo that, and slide this back and wind this forward. Now I think I'm right in doing this. Take it back a bit more, as far out as I can. Okay, lock that up and that, and bring it out. Yeah, now there is a difference. Now does that change if it should be about 8. No. That again is in the vertical. I want it on this way. So do that. Let's do it again. See how much, that's how much gap there is in this keyway. it's expanded because of the distance. It wouldn't be so much. It wouldn't be so much if this was, say, halfway. It would be less. But the main thing is that this face and this face are the same when I lock this up. So I've got my fingers crossed. Okay. Now that's what the wedge does. The wedge takes up all that slack and locks it all together. It's like a triangular key that goes into a dove slot at 45, a 45 dovetail cutter, and I did that on the mill. So okay, we'll tighten that up. Now we'll get that about the same place and tighten that up. Now I know that there's something going on here because it must be the hole in the block is, I don't know whether it's slanting up or slanting down, but the main thing is that it's the same here, and it's 10th thou there and 5th thou here. So so it's, yeah, it's this, something's happening. Now what's happening? I got them done up. Yeah. Why is that? It's 5 there and the reading is 10th thou there, or 11, no, 9. So there's 4 thous, so there's, on that distance, there's 4 thou, 2 thou off centre. Yeah, 2 thou off centre, so that would give me a taper of 2 thou, which would be 4 thou overall, I guess. So if I moved this, then I would have to readjust this if I moved it to another point and try to machine the same piece that I'd machined with this quill up in here and this block further up. So it would be out 2 thou off centre. I wonder why that is. That is true. Is it because there's a slope? Maybe. Let's try it again and see if we get a different reading. I'll just move it in a little bit. Move it in a bit. Let's try that. Now that's 6 thou. And this is, yeah, 10th thou. So there's a difference of 2 thou on this, the quill. I wonder if I undid that and reset it, what we would get. Yeah, that's 5. Yeah, it's the same. And that's 9. 9.5, 10. Well, there you go. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, whether I'm going to try and remedy that or just leave it as it is. Don't do an awful lot of, okay for drilling, I'm sure. Wouldn't make any difference to the drilling and centering. Only time it's going to have any bad effect, and even then it won't be very much, is when if I'm ever turning anything between centers, like a crankshaft or something like that. Don't think I'm going to worry about it. I think it's pretty good. What have we got on the top? We've got, let's move it, get it to a, that's on 15. That's on 0. If it's touching, I think it is. Let's get it a bit more. That's not very good either. Well, okay, that's almost 10. Yeah, it's 8th thou, 4th thou. So it's got to be something to do with this slope. And the only thing I can do about that is to, luckily it's up that way. I wonder if a piece of shim under this plate would, that might solve the problem. A piece of paper, cigarette paper maybe. Well, if anybody wants to make any suggestions from the information that I've given them here, if they understand what I'm trying to do, or the video, then if they want to give suggestions, that's acceptable. Anyway, I think, yeah, it's 20 past 11 now. Whew, tired. So I think I'll call off, and hopefully yeah, it's without a grinder, slip gauges, nice surface table. It's difficult. Be nice to get this on a nice surface table, get the whole thing sitting on the surface table and dialed in and working with slips and gauges and surface grinder. That's what I want. I want a what do they call it? Jones & Shipman 540 surface grinder, tool room grinder. Beautiful little machines. Okay, I'm going to call off. Thanks for viewing, Any comments? Thank you very much.